Just ignore it. Just ignore the sky. Ignore what's going on around you. Nothing happened. Nothing's going on. Or else you're going to get banned. You're going to get kicked off the internet. You're going to go to jail. You're going to get fines. Don't look at the sky. Let's take a look at what Joe Rogan has to say about this drone situation going on in New Jersey. The drones and the orbs, I don't know if he covers the orbs. The orbs are the one thing that I would say I find a bit odd, but the drones, not really. I think people are making a big deal out of things that aren't really a big deal, but without further ado, we're going straight in.
Aykroyd's crazy into UFOs. He's like one of the main celebrities they pull up when people start talking about like UFO real believers. He's done like little clips where he narrates things, UFO shows and shit. He fucking believes.
Well, didn't they just release that there's even more belief now about UFOs?
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know if it's real.
They're definitely fun, I agree.
But it's fun. That's how I feel.
Doug, I did a podcast with Jim Florentine, and I explained to Jim Florentine that what people don't know is that Hudson County, New Jersey, northern New Jersey, is the #1 place in the country where they have the most UFO sightings.
Really? Northern New Jersey.
Look it up, Jamie, if you get a minute, please, not to be rude.
But isn't that like near a couple airports?
No, it's closer to like you know, like when you live in New York City and you look at the Hudson River. Mm-hmm. They say that people go on their balcony, they're drinking coffee, they're talking on the phone, and they'll see a little flying saucer go by.
Really?
And I know for a fact that in 1976,
a little one,
whatever the fuck they are, I know for a fact that in 1975 and 1976, you could check me out on this. A UFO landed in Hudson County Park. I was a kid, and the next day the feds locked off the park. They had yellow tape. They had samples. Go look it up, dog. There's a UFO. You see that's called, North Bergen is where I'm from. That's called, I forget what it's called, but it's a circular building. So they did so much coke in there in the 80s, they called it the grinder. That's what they called it, because it was shaped like the Stonehenge. The Stonehenge.
So is it the UFOs or is it the coke? Because if you know anything, dopamine can cause hallucinations. If you're messing with your dopamine long enough, you will start to hear things and see things. So who knows, it might be the environment or it might be the cause of the environment. You know what I'm saying?
People that lived in that building have seen UFOs for fucking years. And if you go to YouTube, there's an actual North Hudson Park UFO. Wow. They dug up, they came out to there's a liquor store. And the liquor store guy says he's seen the lights. Mm-hmm. You heard like the organ music that they play. Ooh. They landed. A couple Martians got out and took samples and got back in the thing and took off.
It was the Chinese.
There's a YouTube thing. There's a History Channel special about it. And I still remember being a young kid.
Did you find anything, Jamie?
That was what's popping up, all that stuff about that building and.
Oh yeah, no.
Is there anything that says a UFO landed?
That's the story I'm reading right now. Is what he's saying. Yeah.
And witnesses. You know, it's not just one guy that says, "I know UFO." It's people who got knocked on the door and said, "Did you see anything at 11:10 at night?" And they said, "You know what? There were lights flashing outside." They contacted police departments to see if there was any. They went full. Then the FBI came in, circled the park. It was by the Little League field in Hudson County. But it is like you'd think it was Area 51. You'd think it was close to northern Las Vegas. The #1 place to see UFOs is northern New Jersey. They even made a reference to it in The Sopranos. When he said something, he goes, "What are you talking about? Last week you said you seen a UFO in Hackensack." Because that's where they're at. Hackensack, Moonachie.
Right.
All those. You ever go to Moonachie, New Jersey? A lot of ugly people. A lot of people with big heads. The only good thing in Moonachie, New Jersey is fucking Segovia, Spanish restaurant. It's been there since 19 fucking Schlemensky. I don't know. But that's the only good thing about Moonachie. I think those people in Moonachie have been abducted. There you go. And they put them back as big-headed motherfuckers.
Big head, big brain intelligence. That's why they're seeing the UFOs. They're able to see into other dimensions. They're beyond the regular intelligence. They're the offspring of Jimmy Neutron.
I did a gig there a couple times.
Oh, yeah. There used to be like a bar. There's a bar that did something in Moonachie.
Was that a Bob Gonzo gig?
Yes, outside the Sea Caucus.
Was it?
Yeah, it's outside. No. I think Bob is more down the shore and
He
stuff.
he had gigs all over.
He had gigs all over, Bob. How I met Bob was he did a gig in Romano's Italian restaurant in my hometown. And my buddy's like, hey, aren't you a comedian? Let's take you up there. And we went up there, and Bob's like, I don't know him. You know, he's an unknown. And next thing Bob came up to me, he's like, Doug, I got to put you up because my friends threatened me. So Bob put me up, and we've become friends ever since.
That's awesome.
I think I follow him on Facebook. We have a chat from time to time on Facebook. But yeah, for you UFO motherfuckers, look into northern New Jersey. That's the fucking motherload of them.
That's interesting. I had read that before, but I kind of
There you go, 51.
51 UFO sightings in 2018. You get biased because the story is always some person in the woods and they get abducted. They see a UFO in some strange town in the middle of nowhere. The aliens land, abduct people. You always think about it being a rural thing. But if I was an alien, of course I'd go to New York City. Of course I'd go to New Jersey. What the fuck? Why wouldn't you? You want to go see the craziest thing we have? You got like 7 million people stuffed together on a fucking tiny island in comparison to the rest of the planet. Stuff stacked on top of each other. Awesome, amazing buildings. All these lights at Times Square. Look at all these people mulling around, traveling over these bridges to get to this one hub, this one hive of humanity. Of course, if I was an alien, I would check that out. Why would I look at a barn? You know what I mean?
You used to have a joke that the United States is the Tijuana
of outer space.
Of outer space. Like that. Like, what are we doing this weekend? We're going to fucking...
They come down when they're fucked up and they want to see a show.
They want to see a show.
That was the whole bit, is that I think aliens come here when they're high.
All right. Maybe in the future, I'm going to have to go out to northern New Jersey and bring my camera and see if I can catch anything for the channel. But they haven't gotten into the drones yet. I know when they're going to get into them, but this drone business, like people seeing drones in the sky and there being the government involved in everything. Whoops, my bad. Obviously, I feel like the drones have been around for years. I've always seen drones in the sky. I think people just recently started paying attention to it. I don't think anything changed. I would look out in the stars years ago, early in the 2000s, before drones were even available to the general population, and I would see things like drones flying in the sky. This basically has always been around. I think people just haven't noticed it. I mean, I wouldn't have said it before, right? People would have thought I was crazy that I see this stuff when I was a kid. But since it's public knowledge now, let's share. Yeah, I would always see it. And I lived near an airport as well, but there weren't airplanes. They could have been helicopters, but it seems mostly like they were drones. They would stop in one place and move around in circles and do all kinds of weird movements that you wouldn't see with a larger aircraft. And it's completely possible that the military has had drones for years before it was available to the general population. As a matter of fact, it's most likely. But yeah, a lot of people have drones now. I don't think it's that weird that the drones are flying around. I think people are just having some kind of mass paranoia.
They just get fucked up. They're like, come on, let's go check out the monkeys. Let's go, dude. Come on, let's abduct a couple of them. Have a good time. Let's go see the monkey people.
I never saw a fucking UFO.
Bro, the alien abductions had me traumatized as a kid. I was obsessed with watching Unsolved Mysteries, X-Files. It really had me so traumatized that I couldn't fall asleep without putting my fingers in between the mattress and the bed. I was always worried about an alien making me float out of the window and taking me away. Oh, they're not covering the orbs. That's what I wanted to cover. Thought they would, but if we're going to talk about the orbs... So it was like 2 weeks ago, I was doing photography, night photography, taking pictures of the stars. And I saw like a plasmoid type thing go across the sky, and then it spread across like a triangle or like a bird. And then it flew across and it disintegrated into the air. Now, I haven't been sleeping during that time for like 3 days, and I'm almost 35 years old. So I wouldn't necessarily say that what I saw was actually there, but hey, makes for a cool story. I might have been in a state between sleeping and awake, staying up all night when you're my age. It just doesn't hit the same. But I'm going to wrap up the video there because it doesn't really look like they're covering exactly what I thought they would. I thought they were going to cover the drones and everything going on in New Jersey right now. Catch you guys next.